Absolutely the absence of disease. Most chronic diseases that plague us are not happening to us, but it's happening within us. We're literally eating ourselves to death, which means we're not living longer, we're dying longer. Join fitness expert Aloy Johnson, the founder of the healthiest corner on earth, located at number 92 East Drive, Chamfleur, every Wednesday from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. live on The Street 919 FM, where he shows you that healing the body's temple is easier than anyone would have led you to believe.
Grand uprising, my people. Grand uprising, everybody. Grand uprising, Trinidad and Tobago, and by extension, the rest of the global world. How everybody doing this morning, man? This is your boy, Mr. Johnson, aka RJ, the founder of the healthiest corner on earth, located at 92 East Drive in Chamfleur. Phone number 736-3962. 736-3962 or 709-8450, 709-8450. If you want to contribute to the program this morning, the phone numbers for the studios are as follows: 342-0081, 342-0081, or 466-5391, 466-5391. So good morning again to everybody. Good morning, Grand Uprising, Trinidad and Tobago. I hope everybody is doing fantabulous this morning and continue to shade under the golden branches of the Creator's love and care. I'm going to delve into a little topic this morning with intermittent fasting and also the benefits of intermittent fasting and what it does to the human body, your biochemistry, to bring it back into homeostasis in vitro, and how that particular benefits can also help with diabetes, which is metabolic disease. I also want to kind of stress a particular stuff this morning. I was going to have Miss Salandi on this morning, but I decided I'm going to do it next week by the grace of the Creator. I'll do it next week because Bago is quite busy now. Bago is loading. Carnival coming up. And big up to MVP Mass. If you ain't jumping up in MVP Mass band, it means you ain't jumping up at all. So MVP is the way to go. All right. Bed low, Daddy B, how you going, brother? MVP Mass. I tell you, that's where you gotta be. That's where the joy is. That's where the energy is. You gotta be there. Be square. Can't miss that. Like I said, if you ain't part of MVP Mass, you ain't part of no Mass. Yeah, I said it. So good morning again, everybody. Blessed morning. My brother, Scrappy, good morning to you. And let me just say at the top of the hour, happy Earth Strong to my nephew, Khalil. Khalil, happy Earth Strong, man. 22 years young. Boy, it's that time, boy. You tore up 22 calendar and counting. That's 2 decades, point 2. Not doing bad. A lot of people didn't make that. So happy Earth Strong, Khalil, man. My nephew. Keep standing tall, my brother, all right? You do the best you can, the best you know how, and continue to shade under the Master's love and care, all right? That energy that creates us, whatever that is, call it what you want, shelter under that. There's something omnipotent and omnipresent about that power that no mind can fathom, all right? So Trinidad and Tobago, once again, good morning. Good morning to our police department. Blessed morning to you. And let me just highlight again, the Guevara effect is in effect. As I tell you, something about that brother is going to make this country a better place. It's in my gut, just the way he moves. You know, he's very unassuming. And he's not predictable. And that's what I love about him. He's not a predictable man. So the Guevara effect is in effect. Good morning, Mr. Guevara. Hope all is well with you, man. So good morning by the extension. Good morning to the entire police department of Trinidad and Tobago. You guys, we can't do without you. I mean, we have our differences. Everybody had the differences with the police. But we can't do without you guys. We could talk what we want. We can't do without you guys. You know what I mean? So I would like to see more cohesiveness in the police department and in all the departments where we all can get along together. We just be fighting on one another. But that coming from an internal thing with self. So if you fix self, there's no need to project. You know what I'm saying? Because you fix yourself. All right? So blessed morning to the police department. Mr. Alexander, good morning to you. Minister of National Security, good morning to you, my brother. Love in the house. And good morning to our fire department. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Our Coast Guard, blessed morning to you and our, I did say the fire department, right? Good morning. Even to the airport security, airport police. Good morning to you guys. The port, good morning. I think I'll leave out something here. The regiment, good morning to you all. Blessed morning to everybody. We need all hands on deck. So good morning. Scrappy, good morning to you. And blessed morning to my sibling. Wax Dog, what's going on this morning? And Wax Dog Senior. Blessed morning to everybody. Booba, what go on, brethren? Hope all is well. So, this is the deal, man. Let me just jump a little bit into, let me just finish my good morning here, because I want to say good morning too. Good morning, Miss Gettins. Blessed morning to you, my dear. And good morning, Mrs. Spencer. How are you doing? Hope you're doing great, Miss Fine Lady. And you continue to shade under the golden branches of the Creator's love and care. So blessed morning again. Good morning, good morning. Good morning, Tanel. Good morning, Vanny. Good morning, Miss Nicole Huggins. Blessed morning. My brother, Jason McPhee, good morning to you. Now, last week I had Miss Salandi on with reference to something in reference to diabetes. And let me just punctuate again, because I get a lot of calls all the time. So obviously there are new people all the time who never knew I had this program going on. And I've been here, like it's hitting hard almost 2 years now. You know, every Wednesday morning. Yeah, hitting hard almost 2 years. Every Wednesday morning, 0800 hours. Yeah, pontificating on health issues, you know. And let's be clear. Not everybody going to like what you do. Not everybody going to like what you say. Not everybody going to like how you say. Those things are immaterial. You can't worry about those things. You got to be steadfast in what you do. Believe in what you do. Believe in yourself and do what you got to do. Sai, good morning, man. Sai, good morning. Good morning. My brother Sai dropped me down here this morning, man. That's a good one, a good soul. Blessed morning to you, my brother. You know, you have to be steadfast in what you do and maintain that focus and be passionate about what you do. I'm real with it. So I'm just saying that if you hold that position, then you won't be distracted by anything that comes. All right. Good morning, Miss Aaron, Miss Cynthia. Aaron, good morning to you. Hope all is well, lovely lady. Hope all is well. And like I was saying, I wanted to bring her on, Miss Salandi, to talk about the Lambo Moonlight Glow Walk, and that is directly cross-referencing diabetes. And I hope all of Tobago will go out and support that on the, I think on the 14th and 15th of next month, somewhere there of next month. But the Lambo Credit, I can't remember the dates off my head, but I know it's next month coming up. So keep listening again for those dates. And you can always make a call to the Lambo Credit Union, register, and just come out and flood the place. You guys have to flood that place, man, because diabetes is intricately linked to metabolic diseases. And this is what I keep trying to explain to people. Diabetes takes 10 to 15 years before it creeps up on you and start creating havoc, right? And the idea of some people thinking that they can just get well in 1 month, y'all need to wake up a little bit, because it took a while before it start festering your body, flooding your body the way in which it does, and create all this havoc where your toes falling off, creating a lot of metabolic problem. And like I'm saying before, and I'll say this again, this is what happens when metabolic diseases just jam you. Blessed morning. Officer Adams, good morning to you, my brother. Hope all is well, man. Blessed. Country boy, good morning to you, Officer Adams. And also good morning, Akil. Akil is working with the Port Police. Good morning to you, brother. That is Officer Adams' son. Akil always have his face serious, but Akil, I'm to you, we'll be scaring people, so relax yourself a little bit. Hey, good. Again, good morning, everybody, man. You got to chew some punches sometime. You got to, you know what I mean? That's the way it works. All right, so, folks, let me focus on this for a little bit. If you join me via YouTube or Facebook, or you're just listening on air, you may see the topic that says the benefits of intermittent fasting. And let me just say this: the benefits of intermittent fasting which give you a lot of benefit. Here's what a lot of people believe. A lot of people believe that if they don't eat, they can't function. It's the furthest thing from the truth. And let me do my best to try to walk you through this, to explain to you the benefits thereof. Because a lot of people don't understand that we overeat and we eat in a fat state. The most, let me tell you something, eh? Let me just see if I can find the right way to put this without getting my emotions mixed up in this. They would have given us in the past advice about how we should eat. And these advice came from the people who we look up to, the people who are at the helm of the health fraternity. And one of those advice was to eat 3 meals a day, 3 square meals a day, and snack in between. Now let me tell you why that narrative start pumping. From my not so humble view, that narrative start pumping because America want to sell their foods out of box. Their Kellogg's, the milk, the fake milk, and all that stuff. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day, and all this nonsense. Breakfast ain't never no important meal, the most important meal of the day. Let me repeat myself to you guys again, for those of you who still believe that. Well, breakfast, you got to have your breakfast because it's the most important meal of the day. Hold up a little bit here. Hold up. Breakfast, which is breakfast, could never be the most important meal of the day. Let me tell you what the most important meal of the day is. The most important meal of the day is the one that you just had. Think about that for a moment. So if you would have eaten the day before and your last meal was, let's say, between 4 and 5, then the next meal, if you want to be real healthy, should be between, in my view, between 9 and 10 or between 10 and 11. Trust me on that. So basically what I am purporting here is that if you truly want to be healthy, eat twice a day. And then if you can incorporate some fasting. Intermittent fasting, all that means is extended eating periods. When you do that, the body puts itself into what you call ketosis mode. Now, let me just go back again. It depends on how long you fast for. Let's say you make a 16 hours. Let's say you make an 18 hours. The body now goes into what you call autophagy, which is self-eating. It goes to all those nasty organelles and stuff that's in the body that we overate from, and all that stuff that we eat in a fat state that creating problems for us. It goes into that mode and it cleans up. Let's say you go over 24 hours. It now goes into what you call autophagy. And autophagy, again, it recycles what you eat and what cleans up from it. All right, so this is just the Kylos. But I want to cut here because I want to send a message to my boy Cabo, because I want him to send something there for me. So give him my commercial there. I just remember. Are you
dealing with high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, prostate issues, cancer, PCOS, fibroids, or low testosterone? These conditions do not just show up overnight. They are signs that your body is out of balance. At the healthiest corner on earth, my focus is restoring that balance naturally using time-tested herbs, personalized wellness plans, and nutritional guidance, helping your body return to homeostasis, the state where healing begins. When your body is in balance, it can protect, repair, and renew itself. You don't have to wait until things get worse. You can take control of your health now. My goal is simple: to prevent chronic disease and support your body's natural ability to heal. Book your free consultation today. Give me a call at 736-3962 or 709-8450. Let's restore balance and prevent what's preventable, because your healing journey starts with one step, and I am here to walk it with you.
Yes, I'm back. Thank you, folks, for that little break. Well, and thank myself, thank Kyle, and just saying for life. All right, so the body goes into what you call autophagy, which is when it starts recycling the things that it ate out from the cells, the organelles, the cytokines, all the crap from the cells, the the unwanted fats inside of there that causes apoptosis. This is when the cells just pop and spill out into your body, get into your bloodstream and all that, and create a lot of problems for you. So the body cleans that up. So you have two things that comes from intermittent fasting with these extended period. Let's say you go for 36 hours. No, the brain start going crazy in a beautiful way. The body now start releasing HGH, which is your growth hormone, human growth hormone. HGH hormones just skyrocket. And on top of that, there's something called BDNF. Acronym, brain-derived neurotropic factor. That is that happy feeling, you're feeling so good. Because now you're getting all this oxidization from out your body. You're getting all these nasty stuff from outside of the cells. Clean up, and the body processes that and pelt out what it doesn't want and recycles what it wants and put it through your bones and clean you up and stuff like that. So fasting is extremely important. And for those of you who are diabetic, which the clients that I helped thus far, diabetes, I give them that intermittent fasting, and have some people eating one meal a day. And let me just remind you guys again, in the month of August, I got 7 people. When I send them back to do the A1C, who was 5.5, who was 4.5. Once you have an A1C on that, there's no diabetes. Let me get that straight. Once that A1C says that, no diabetes. No, for the entire year, I got 11. So this year, thus far, that's 18 that would have reversed their diabetes. And trust me, if other people listen to me the way I want them to and follow my discipline the way I want them to, trust me, in 90 days I could get clean up. In 90 days. And this is no joke. There are studies to support that. So y'all think that diabetes was handed down from one generation to the next and all that story, which I mean, I will never get tired of saying. Y'all need to let go of that narrative, because that is imprecise information. It is the antithesis of the truth. Y'all let that loose, because diabetes is not hereditary. And I'm going to punctuate this every time I talk so people get it in their heads and don't believe that they have to find salvation in metformin, glybride, glucophage, diamicron, and all them kind of stuff. You don't have to do that. So I am asking you guys to incorporate this extended period which calls intermittent fasting. And ladies and gentlemen, let me just tell you this. Your body will quickly remind you, hey, I'm hungry, I want to eat. Absolutely. It's going to remind you of that. The ghrelin, there's a hormone called ghrelin. It's going to choke you up. It's going to choke you up and just say, yeah, I need to eat. But you got to ignore that. And trust me, in 15 minutes to half an hour, that's gone. And let me give you some of the key factors that you can use. Again, from my research and my own personal experience. You get some water, and you either cold pressed coconut oil or our local coconut oil. Got to be real coconut oil. The one that's cold pressed or the one that we make here, right? Well, even the cold press is the one that we get here, but the cold press is straight from the pulp. The other one, we kind of heat it up and then we get the oil from it. Coconut oil has something called MCT. Is that? Just no. MCT. Yeah. Yes, it's MCT is it. Which is it? The acronym for that is medium chain triglycerides. It's a fat that the coconut oil releases, but it's a good fat because it's medium chain. So if you're doing the intermittent fasting, you get some water, and please try to stay away from with plastic bottled water, because that does kill we, especially men. That licking up our not only testosterone but nitric oxide. That just damages our nitric oxide, and every human being needs it, more so men, right? If there's a depletion or deprivation of nitric oxide in the human body, we have real problems. All right, we have serious problems. And nitric oxide just it's like a gas. It just comes out for about 2 to 3 seconds, and it just signals the cells to do what they need to do. So we need it, right? So, but when we drink water from the bottle, it kills that. It hammers it like crazy. So we have to try to do better than that. Bottled water is everywhere, but we got to try to reverse the plastic bottle thing then, because the microplastic totally killing we Jed. For the longest while, they just damaging us. So we need to stay away from that. But here what I'm saying to you, what you need to do is you get some water, you walk with your bottled water, right? Look for a safe plastic. Next week, I'm going to talk about, I hope I remind myself to do this. There's some safe plastic. Underneath every plastic container, there is a number. And that number tells you how safe that plastic is, whether you can use it in heat or not. Right? So I'm not going to sit here this morning and pontificate and play that I remember chronologically how they are supposed to be to use. But I'm going to tell you from now, look under any plastic container. There is a number there. If there is no number there, that means the plastic ain't good. It's not good. Right? So look for that number, and it tells you what you can do, whether you can heat it up, whether you can put some hot things in it or not. Right? So you got to look for one of those safe plastic. Have your water in that, and you put like a tablespoon of coconut oil in it, and you'll be nice. A call coming in? Call, are you live? Good morning.
Hi, morning, brother. What's up?
Hi there, man. Hi, good, man. How you doing?
I'm fine.
Nice, man.
Well, yeah, I'll make it quick. I'll see if I can fit it into what you're speaking of. Blood count. How does blood count affect one? Is there a high blood count? Well, we know about low blood count, but I never heard people speak about high blood count. And how does one blood count affect your blood pressure as well as that? Because I have a wife and father who is diabetic.
Right.
So how does that affect it? You know?
Right. Okay.
And I heard you saying, and I heard you say that you're speaking about the intermittent fasting. Now, does that, so is it, now I heard you talk about the 16 hours, 24 hours, and so
right.
forth. So is it that at a specific time one can start it, or is at any time?
You broke
and how, you know, because, go ahead.
You broke up a little bit. You said, or if there's a specific time. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that one can start to fast.
All right, cool.
Because you know, we get into the norm of going to sleep at 8, 9, 10 in the night, give or take between 8 and 10.
Right.
We get about 5, 6, depending on our work schedule. So I would have eaten 8 o'clock. Like last night, I would have just eaten a sandwich.
Right.
With a slice of tomato and cucumbers.
Right.
So I haven't eaten until now. And what I'm eating now, I had a little bit of dal and rice with me. So I hot it up and I just had a bit of dal and rice.
Right.
With a little bit of shutdown. And that's all. So that time in between, that's about 12 hours.
Before you go, all right, let me respectfully interrupt you. Before you go, what time you had that sandwich?
No problem.
Last night.
Around 7, either. Between 7. Let's say between 7 and half 7. Give or take.
Okay, all right. You know what would have been a good thing, because this would have give you beautiful, some serious growth hormone this morning. If you would have waited until like 10 or 11 to have that dal and rice, you would have been in a real good place. Real good place. Okay. Even you remember you spoke to me about the the mucus and stuff with the sinus and that kind of stuff that you had. Right. That will help to take care of that for you. You know, this ain't no joke, because you see, sinus is in your epithelium. That's why it hit first. Yeah. It's in the epithelium.
I saw that word.
Yeah.
So that's what you're speaking
right. But we have ACE2 receptors, and that the inside there always moist, and it always have germ in it all the time. 100%. Anytime you look there, you'll find germ. But in what I'm saying to you here, those things are organelles. Almost every disease comes from the same place, which is at a cellular level, and that mucus and inflammation is coming from a cellular level. So once you do some fast, it's going and clean that up, bro. It's going to help you. So the next time you eat that late, make the first meal, the other meal the next day, make it at between 10 and 11.
Understood.
Yeah.
But I can still get up in the morning, drink my glass of warm water without to drop a lime or whatever the case.
Correct. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that.
Right.
Correct. And let me tell you this, bro. Before you go, I want everybody to hear this. For those people who are suffering with your diabetes real bad, if you're going to eat a food that will spike your insulin, let's say a very high carbohydrates, because there are no such thing as a essential carbohydrates. So there's no such. We eat it, but we have to eat complex carbohydrates. But it's not essential. But let me just say this: if you're going to eat a piece of roti, some bread. For people who are diabetic, take this from me. Drink some. This is from Mr. Johnson to those people who are suffer bad with diabetes. Drink some Heinz vinegar. Just put a glass to a cap. Full the cap. The cap. Put that in a glass of water and drink that 5 to 15 minutes before you eat. It will help the insulin it will control the insulin. The insulin won't just spike. It will go up very, 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 very slow, and it won't stay long to come back down, which will help you a lot. I'm just saying, for people who are full-blown diabetics, that is what you can do. All right?
I will leave you with this. I remember my mother used to do that. My she was alive, should have been about 103 or somewhere around there. And back in the 80s, I can remember, as a little boy, I can remember seeing my mother doing that. And sometimes she will have the apple cider vinegar. So
there you go.
Either or can work.
Yeah.
I used to see my mom doing that.
Very good. Very good. I don't believe in the apple cider vinegar much, though. I ain't believe. Since certain people get involved with it, I don't believe in it. But it also include that vinegar I'm telling you about, the Heinz vinegar in the glass bottle. It increases the hydrochloric acids inside of the stomach, which is supposed to be 1.5. It's supposed to be like battery acid. Once our stomach doesn't have that 1.5 acidity, a hydrochloric acid, we are in dire trouble. And many of us, that is why we go to the doctor and they give us PPIs. We are heartburn and all that stuff, which is proton pump inhibitors and creating problems. So there you go, my brother.
So thank you. Locked on and listening.
All right, brother. Love in the house.
Thanks again.
Yeah, man. Take care. I think one of the questions my brethren just asked me there is if there's a specific time to fast. I say do the intermittent fasting. I say practice. You first start, do a little 12 hours. If you could make a 12 hours, extend it to now like a little 16 hours. Just see how fast you can challenge yourself. But here what I'm asking folks to do. If you want to really remain healthy, eat 2 meals a day. But just make sure those meals are satiated. Make sure that it's full of nutrients and micronutrients. A proper meal, not a meal out of a box. Not a meal that you line up, not the staple that you line up for in the morning and a Coke. That ain't no meal. Okay, that just tastes good. That ain't doing nothing for you. I'm not telling you not to buy it, you know. I'm just saying if you want to go a route and you want to be healthy, you got to walk that road. That is all I'm saying. Okay? And I'm not making any outlandish statement here to say that this ain't good. Everybody's allowed to do what they want to do. You have a choice to make. That's on you. But if you're talking about health along that line, then this would be my advice to you. All right? So don't ask me my advice as it pertains to health, and then you want to counter it, well, where go eat? Because we go fall out. What do you mean where you go eat? I go tell you where you go eat if that is how you're going to respond to me when you ask me for health advice. And I get that all the time too, you know, and they never like the answer. Absolutely. So again, the benefits of that is when if you make a 18 or 20 hours, you know the greatness you're doing for your body. You're not losing no weight. Let me just explain this again, people. Folks, our body has 3 different types of fats. You could say 4, right? And listen to them. We have intramuscular fat in between the muscle. We have subcutaneous fat, which is between the skin and the muscle. We have visceral fat, which is internally. That's the fat that messing with your organs, your liver, your kidney, and all that stuff. Internal fat, that visceral fat. And then we have what you call adipose fat, that aid, or brown fat, that aid in fat burning. Now, when you do intermittent fasting, the body's switching to ketosis mode, and it goes nuts. And let me just explain this to you guys. There are a lot of people who work out every single day. I say this again already, and I will say it again and again and again. For those of you who work out and you find you're not getting in any results at all, the reason you're not getting results is because you're eating foods that are insulin spiking. And I don't care what the box says in terms of calories. Again, if you are eating ultra processed foods, you're wasting your time. I don't care how nice you dress it up. You're wasting your time. If the food, this is a question you got to ask yourself. If the food doesn't come from the earth, if it doesn't come from what we claim as God or the creator, did God make this food? The creator make this food? If that isn't the question, you're not eating proper. right? And that will spike your insulin like crazy. And you could work out as much as you want. You're going to shift it a little bit only for it to go back on. Because as you go back home and you make that food, your insulin jump up again. And let me just say it again, emphatically clear. Without the reduction of insulin, there will never be any fat burning. Let me repeat that again. Without the reduction of insulin in the human body, you cannot burn any fat. I don't care. So once you start doing your stuff, when you want to lose weight and you're doing it from a caloric standpoint, you are absolutely wasting your time. And counting calories is totally for mad people. And I think that is one of the things that they have us with, is a way they can control us. And here's the disclaimer. The disclaimer on this box food. Generally perceive as safe. That's the disclaimer. Look at many of it and you'll see. Or generally known as safe. But what does that mean? That's like asking somebody if they're pregnant. You're pregnant? Well, not necessarily. You see, and we get caught up in these nonsensical stuff because the food companies is about shelf life and the moolah. And we get caught up in that dance, not even realizing what's happening. You wake up one morning, watch yourself in the mirror. Look at young folks these days. It's like the midsection of a lot of young people is just not nice. It's just not nice. And it's because they will tell you, what else I go eat? What else is there to eat? Folks, you can make intelligent choice. What are you talking about? What do you mean, what else is there to eat? And then they will tell you again, our default position is very simple. Well, if I eat healthy, it's expensive. And Mr. Johnson will fire back and tell you, try sickness and see which one more expensive. Because I don't know what we're talking about. We can make better choices. And as I said before, we cannot avoid everything, but there are a lot of things you can avoid. Why is polycystic ovarian syndrome so prevalent? You know what I learned? I had a friend, is my boy, very close to my heart. This brethren will come into shark-infested water for me. And he had prostate issues. He's from Tobago. No one called him. And I brought him by me. I brought him by me. A lot of people know about it who knew me and knew him. Because I didn't want him to stay there. I brought him by me. And made sure he was okay with the prostate issue. I took care of my boy. You know why? Bago loaded. The hospital every day is crammed. Now what's going on there? Let me talk about this for a little bit. Because this is out in the domain. And I ain't talking nothing that I don't know, because this is straight to my heart. I thought about this before. I wanted to talk about this before. I process it, but it's out there. And let me tell you why this is out there, ladies and gentlemen, and for all my Tobago people, we're Trinidad and Tobago people. Let me listen to this carefully, because there are 22 health centers in Tobago. Trust me, I started this journey a very, very long time. A very, very long time I started this journey. And you know, Dr. Faith was like she's still my girl, but one of my biggest advocates when it comes to health. Dr. Faith Brenner she was doing something and she was pushing it. Know your numbers, know your risks. And she was pushing that like crazy so that Tobago could be a healthier place. This is over a decade ago. And I was behind her with doing this. I don't know how far it meets. I can't tell you. But hear what I know going on right now. The hospital in Tobago is overpowered. It cannot handle the amount of pathologies, the amount of metabolic sickness that goes in there on a daily basis. Here's the reason why I brought my boy Dong. No, and I'm telling you, this is about 6-7 months ago. I tell you, I processed this for a while. Whether I should bring it out or not. Folks, the reason we are bombarding the hospital like that, stressing out nurses and doctors like that. There are no hospital beds. They have to move them from Scarborough to Roxborough. The reason for all that is because we are not making intelligent choices in what we put in our guts. We are not making intelligent choices. So don't tell me now what else is there to eat. Where else I go eat? Well, what I go eat? Well, see that for eat. Well, what we gonna do? And all these inept excuses, all these imprecise and sideways languages, so that you can make excuses where you are not afraid of and you're so implicit in your own mortality. So you want to continuously make excuses to eat whatever you want. Listen, most of the foods, let me remind you again. Most of the foods that we have in Trinidad and Tobago comes from the United States. It's imported from the United States. The United States use over 10,000 different chemicals in their foods. There are over 200, I think it's 175 to 200 and something different names for sugar. And we import those foods down here. I want you to listen carefully to what I'm saying here. Glyphosate, deuterium, nitrosamine, heterocyclic amines, acrylamides, and the list goes on. Estrozine. I hope all you know what estrozine is, right? Estrozine is, if I tell you already, and I'll say it again, estrozine is if a man eating estrozine, consuming estrogen, he will start behaving like a female. Let that sink in. And we have 10,000 different chemicals in our foods every single day, creating havoc on our biochemistry. And then you still want to be implicit in your own mortality and turn around and ask me, well, why go eat? And it's the reason why the hospital is overwhelmed. What is going on here? We're behaving like we don't have no sense. We're behaving like we can't do better. Come on, man. And I'm not talking about an injury here where you have to nurse an injury because whatever and whatever. Man, that's totally different. I am talking about chronic diseases, that metabolic sickness that create chronic diseases. When your body is metabolically ill, everything from there on is possible in terms of a deleterious effect. And what that says, you're not putting the right amount of nutrients in your body. You're not eating the right amount of food. The human body needs 60 minerals, 16 vitamins, 12 amino acids, 2 or 3 EFAs in order to function the way God and nature intended it to be and bring the body back into homeostasis in vitro. We ain't doing that, period. We don't have no time for that. We just want taste. And look at the position we are in today. You know how many amputations are there in Tobago? You know how many? Why? Why we had to go through that? Why we have to do that? And who do we have to blame? Because if we don't buy the food, they will change. They will change it. But we goes blissfully unaware into a supermarket and everything inside that trolley is processed foods. $3,000 and $4,000, and right beside it in the trolley is a piece of your coffin. And some people don't like the straight talk. Then don't like it. Because a lot of times the people that triggers you the most are your greatest teachers. Just remember that. Remember, you get that from Mr. Johnson. The people that trigger you the most are your greatest teacher. Because your trigger had nothing to do with them. It has to do with what you got to work on internally. And that is something we can't face. That is something that's a problem for us as human beings. Yeah. We need to make more informed choices in terms of what we eat. And I am saying to you again and again, I have a modification sheet. On that sheet, I tell you, I'm not doing that sheet for nobody. Don't call me and ask me to do no diet sheet because I'm not doing it. I am smart enough. I am intelligent enough to know you are wasting your time and my time telling me to give you a diet sheet. Because here what I know for sure. If I give you that diet sheet and I have the opportunity to spend 30 days with you to follow that diet sheet, we going and fall out. I know that for sure. We going and fall out. And you, the people who beg me for that diet sheet, will turn around against me. I know we going to fall out. So what I did, I prepare a sheet that these foods on that sheet, stay away from them. Seed oils are not good. The oils that we have here today aren't good. They are destroying our biochemistry. They are not good. And here we are. We're using processed foods. We're doing the stir fries with the processed foods. And then we're using the seed oil. We done. That is why there is this barrage of metabolic diseases in my beautiful islands, in my 12 islands, where you have to go inside there and there are no beds. And most of that stuff there, here, what happening here? Diabetes, heart issue. Well, where did heart issue come from? Listen, they're not inseparable, you know. Let us get this straight. All these metabolic diseases that going on here, they are not separable. They come from the same place. They come from the same tree. They come from the same tree, just different branches. The high blood pressure. Let me put it this way to you. 10.5, 9.5 rather, of 10% of the people. So let's just say, I'm just giving you this biomarker. If you are metabolically ill, where insulin is concerned, blood pressure is right there. There's no maybe, but, if, no ands. It's very rare a person that has diabetes don't have high blood pressure problem. Very, very rare. It's in that 0.1%. Very rare. And we are going on blissfully unaware. We have 63 to 64,000 miles of blood vessel in our body. 63 to 64,000 miles of blood vessels in our body that are running around in our body. And when one of those pipes get disrupted, blood pressure. Let me just explain this to you again. And this is why people are on 2, 3, and 4 different type of blood pressure medication. I don't want to lose my train of thought here. I don't want to lose this. But here what I want to say to you folks. You go and you do a blood work. Your blood pressure high. Blood pressure is high. They give you some questioning and they tell you you can inherit it because daddy had it, mommy had it, their parents had it, and so you already primed for drugs, right? That without anything else you're primed for drugs, and they will tell you you inherit that. And I'm saying to you there are no such thing. There are no such thing. What did you inherit? What is the gene that you inherit? The entire human genome has been mapped. Scientists know this. People who work in the medical profession, they know this. The entire human genome has been mapped. So tell me the gene that comes with my blood pressure problem. Please, I'm waiting. Tell me the gene. But here we accept those information to be true, that we inherit certain stuff. So we go on this stuff. So here what the deal is. If you would join your blood veins together end to end, it would be 63,000 miles, 63 to 64,000 miles. That's going around the entire world 1.5 times. And if one of those pipes are broken or clogged, we have problems. And one of the things that create that problem for us is an amino acid called homocysteine. Any one of y'all could look it up. And who's listening to me right now, go look it up and see what homocysteine does. Homocysteine is an amino acid. It's lanolinic acid. It's like omega-6. It can get very, very toxic, inflammatory. And most time because of how we eat, homocysteine levels are high. Look, you could go on 10,000 different blood pressure medication. If your homocysteine level is high, your blood pressure not moving. Now your heart, kidney, and liver are in jail for a crime they never committed. And then you go and you do some kidney work. They look at your kidney and they tell you it's at certain stage. Oh, it's bad, but you will have to stay on this medication for the rest of your life. Hold on here, what go on here, brethren? My kidney not good and you tell me stay. So what processing these medication? But I will leave that right there. I'm saying to you, folks out there, if we make better choices in terms of what we eat, our lives will be better. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. You don't have to like Mr. Johnson. You don't have to like me. Just listen to the message. Please listen to my narrative. And if you think my narrative can be shifted, by all means, come, let's have a debate. Because I always say I'm not absolute in my narrative. Because if you could shift my narrative, it's more knowledge for me. I learned something. But we need to take better care of ourselves. So homocysteine cruise by in our bloodstream, and as soon as blood vessels sense homocysteine is close by, they clamp down. And then when they clamp, blood pressure going straight through the roof. The reason they clamp is because they want to protect themselves. There is something inside of our blood vessel called the endothelium. And that endothelium is that smoothness inside it that get very irritated. You could get damage, it can get oxidized. That is stroke and all kind of other problems going on there. They protect themselves, so they clamp down. Your blood pressure shoot through the roof. And you go there. Hence the reason, sometimes you go there, your head pounding, heart pounding. No matter what they do, that blood pressure ain't coming down. It's not moving. Because homocysteine level is high. Check out Mr. Johnson. I'll tell you how to do. Check Mr. Johnson. I'll tell you how to bring down homocysteine. How I know? Through research. How I know? Through the men who would have done it before. Through peer-reviewed papers. Through meta-analysis study. Yeah, that's how I know. I don't profess to know everything, but when I tell you, when I'm talking about a particular subject matter, I know what I'm talking about. It don't mean I know everything. It means I know what I'm talking about with that subject matter. And I tell you, homocysteine will do that to you. No, you're going through this process, and sometimes it don't have to be, let's say your homocysteine level is good. Let's say it's at the Goldilocks zone. There's something called arterial peripheral disease. The kidney has so much work to do, it ain't functioning good. The pumps in the kidney not working. The nephrons in the kidney is not working. The nephrons not working, so the pump, they shut down. There are problems there. That is high blood pressure again. That's high blood pressure again. All that can be cleaned up. All that can be cleaned up. You use some milk thistle, use some things synergistically, and then you use not just the milk thistle alone, because like I said, you have to use herbs synergistically. And that will create that synergistic effect that allow your immune system to go to war for you. Healing the body temple is easier than anyone would have led you to believe. I tell you guys already, and I'll tell you again, the reason allopathic medicine is at the way it's at is because everything is in Latin. They wanted to make it look like it's for brainiacs. And all the rest of us are just alternative. That like saying the only good dog is a German Shepherd and all the rest of dogs are alternative dogs. Because what we do is cure. We deal with the root cause of the issue. Diabetes can be cured, remission, reverse. It don't have no maybe, but if no ands. You're born with diabetes. It's only type 1 that becomes a problem. We'll talk about that at a different time. Type 1 because the beta cells are shut down. That's a kind of autoimmune problem. The body damages that beta cell, so they don't produce insulin anymore. Insulin is a hormone. What insulin does? Insulin comes from the beta cell and protects you, because everything that we eat, it releases glucose and glucagon in the bloodstream. Insulin, that hormone, emerges from the beta cell, comes out and clean out the blood and park it in cells. But we want to eat all the time. 3 meals, snack in between, insulin going up the roof. I want to know when your insulin going and come down. When your insulin coming down? We eat in a fat state. We always greedy. When that insulin coming down? When? So if you understand the process scientifically, how that work on your biochemistry, maybe you'll make a better choice. Well, that's why I'm here. That's why I'm here trying to give you all this information. That's why I wake up 2 o'clock in the morning, read and study. I love what I do and I do what I love. I try to give you guys this information. We need to do better. We need to do better. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Johnson operates the healthiest corner on earth. Okay? Mr. Johnson operates the healthy corner on earth. Right? And it's chronic diseases that I take care of. Chronic diseases. My brother, I'll call you back, man. I'm finishing off my program. I'll give you a shout. Love in the house. Right? Chronic diseases. It's just this simple. Your body becomes metabolically ill because of the foods you start putting in it. You didn't born like that. Nobody born like that. And for the people who born in a particular way, there is a way in which that can be dealt with, but certainly not type 2 diabetes. No. No. Type 2 diabetes, they tell us it's genetics. No, it's not. Everybody with that gene will die out. Come on, let's do better than this, man. You couldn't have a twin that comes from the same mother and father. One developed diabetes and one doesn't. No. And if I inherit diabetes from my parents, please tell me what gene I inherit. Please tell me the gene. Name the gene for me. Give me the name of the gene and the chromosome it resides on. No. But you see, when there is $160 billion a year industry in metformin, glybride, glucofree, diamicron, merzoglitazone, and the list goes on, who's going to clear diabetes? The effort comes from you. Ladies and gentlemen, the time on the air has almost been up. Almost. Time on the air has almost finished. And I'll do the best I can for you. I don't know why my phone blowing up with all these, but like, yeah. So, Carlos, how much time I have there? Right, cool. Time on the air is almost up. It's been a privilege and my prerogative. Again, my phone numbers are 736-3962, 736-3962, 736-3962, or 709-8450. I offer you a free consultation. That's all you got to do, a free consultation. Call for an appointment. I operate by appointment only. That way I can give my time to you, an hour to an hour and 15 minutes. I don't want to be rushed. Quite a few times it happened and I just didn't like it. I was just crammed. 10, 15 people waiting on me. I don't like that at all. So I just cut that down. I don't like it. People, that's why you wouldn't see a sign outside either. And it was for that reason, because I don't want walk-ins. I'd rather deal with people on appointments so I can take my time and deal with it. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Mr. Johnson, a.k.a. RJ, the founder of the healthiest corner on earth, located at 92 East Drive in Champlain. My time is up, and on the air. No, my time ain't up. It's on time up on the air, and by God's grace and by the Creator's order, you'll see me back here next week. So in this life, we all need each other to be each other. Without each other, we could never be each other. Am I my brothers and sisters keeper? It's supposed to be that way. Let's try to love one another. Self-love starts on inside. Okay? Don't be controlled by outside narrative. Move away from status quo and think for yourself. Until next time, this is your boy, Mr. Johnson, aka RJ Megan.
That healing. The presence of oxygen is absolutely the absence of disease. Most chronic diseases that plague us are not happening to us, but is happening within us. We're literally eating ourselves to death, which means we're not living longer, we're dying longer. Join fitness expert Alloy Johnson, the founder of the healthiest corner on earth, located at number 92 East Drive, Champlain, every Wednesday from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. live on The Street 919 FM, where he shows you that healing the body's temple is easier than anyone would have led you to believe.
Are you searching for answers to life's questions? Those things that disturb and concern you the most?